everyone and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Katarina. Today's video is going to be an update for my rolling project pan, and it is a pretty late update. My last update I filmed midway through February, and I'm supposed to film these updates in every 6 weeks, so it has now been about 2 months, but I still wanted to film the update because I do have some empties and I also do want to roll in new products to focus on. So let's talk about makeup first, and let's start with primer. I don't have any primer in this project yet, but I'm going to roll in actually 2, because my primer collection has grown a little bit and I would like to get it down to a point where I only have a couple. So first, this Smashbox Photo Finish Illuminate Glow Primer. This is a primer that I got from my sister recently and I have been using it for a few weeks now. There's not actually too much left, like I feel it's starting to be a little bit more difficult to get the product out. Maybe that gives you an idea of how much I have left. So this one should be done by the next update, which by the way I will try to film when it's supposed to be filmed anyways. Even though this update is now late, the next update I will try to film in a month or so. Anyways, I do really like this primer. This reminds me a lot of the Catrice Sensational primer that is one of my favorite primers. I don't have it currently, but it is a primer that I really enjoy. So this one is pretty similar to that one. The another primer that I will be working on from now on is the W7 Prime Grip Primer. I had this idea for a while that I want to stop using silicone-based primers and move to water-based primers like gripping primers and so on, but I since have realized that actually I do prefer on myself silicone-based primers. I just like how the makeup goes on top of that and stays looking smooth the entire day with those. I know it's not everybody's favorite type of primer, but I like silicone primers. And gripping primers, I feel they don't work for me quite as well. Maybe they help a little bit with the longevity of the makeup, but not enough so that I wouldn't need to do any touch-ups. I have this one and I do have another one, so this one I now would like to use up. Now, I don't like this with the foundation that I'm currently using on my everyday basis, but I'm going to roll in a foundation that this one works really nicely with. But that is how much I do have left. I doubt that I could finish this one by the next update, but I still want to start working on it. Then let's talk about foundation. So I had in this project the Catrice Invisible Cover Foundation. I don't now even remember if I wrote this in the intro or in the first update, but now this foundation is gone. I was actually able to finish it pretty soon after filming the last update. I do like this foundation, but it's not my favorite because this one maybe is a little bit thicker than my preference. But I do think this one looked really nice on the skin, stayed on pretty well. Yeah, totally I can see this being a foundation that would work for a lot of different people. I am going to roll in a new foundation. This one is actually the W7 HD foundation. I don't wear this currently on my everyday basis because I do find that this one doesn't stay on quite as long as I would like, because my work days tend to be pretty long. So for me this works better during weekends. I do have here around half of the bottle left and I'm not quite sure if I can finish this one before I get tan. I hope I could. Okay, but concealer I do have in this project. This one is the Revolution Conceal and Hydrate Concealer. And this one is in the shade C1, which is too light for me. And I only use this for highlighting, and still it is a little bit too light. Like I need to really see some effort to blend it in. But today I have worn it. I'm wearing it like here on my forehead, on nose, my chin. This one is pretty close to being done. I have now removed the stopper. Whether there's product left in a month when I will film my next update or not, then I'm going to call this done, because there's no way that I'm going to save a concealer where there's just a little bit on the sides and basically almost everything is gone. Over the summertime, when this one for sure will be too light for me. But yeah, I will just keep using it every day and see where we get. Okay, then let's talk about powder. I was able to finish one and I'm going to roll in one. So I was able to finish the Wibo Diamond Skin Powder. And this one is a glowy setting powder that is glowy to the point that, in my opinion, is unflattering. Like, it's shimmery. You can actually see shimmer on my face when I use this. And also I feel it made me just look crazy. And also with this one I would need to pack it on and use a huge amount, and still my skin would feel tacky and not set. So not my favorite powder. However, I did have from Wibo another powder, their Mood Loose powder, that I really liked. I don't have it right now because I used up mine, but that I liked. So I'm not saying all Wibo powders are bad. Just this particular one I don't think was really good. I'm going to roll in another glowy setting powder. This one is from Astra makeup, which I believe is an Italian drugstore brand. Wibo is a Polish drugstore brand or affordable brand. But yeah, I do have from Astra their Velvet Skin Loose powder, which is their take on glowy setting powder, and this one is beautiful. I will say I'm wearing this today, but I took a nap before filming, so I had to tan, like I had gotten a little bit oily, so I did use just matte pressed powder to do a touch up. This one, in my opinion, looks like you use a foundation and you don't set it at all. So that's what you get from here, but then you have still set your face, and unlike with the Wibo powder, you don't need to use a ton and still your skin feels sticky. No, you use this and your skin feels powdered, but it doesn't look like it's powdered. It's a really beautiful glowy powder. Oh, now I actually noticed that I'm pretty close to being done with this one. There you can see that I don't have much left of this powder, so this one for sure will be gone by the next update. Then the last complexion product category is setting spray. So in the intro I rolled in the Catrice Prime and Fine Multitalent Fixing Spray, which I did finish pretty soon after filming the first update. I'm glad about it because I really don't think this is that great of a setting spray. The setting spray that I'm working on right now is the iconic London Prep Set and Glow setting spray. So let me show you where I am, and I'm going to show you a comparison picture of where I was in the intro. So, no, not in the intro, but in the last update I think I rolled this one in. So yeah, after finishing this setting spray I started working on this one, and I got to say I'm happy about the progress I have been able to make. Sometimes it feels that setting sprays do take quite a while to go through. This one I do use 3 sprays each time that I use it, and yeah, I have been able to make pretty good progress, so I actually think this one will be gone not by the next update but by the update after that. That was everything about the complexion products, and cheek products I don't have in this project currently. I think in the next update I'm going to roll in my cream and liquid. Actually, I only have liquid cheek products, but they're from last summer, so I want to finish them during the next summer. I only use those in summertime, but I'm not quite yet going to roll them in, and now I'm just focusing on my Pandit face palette. So let's move on to eyes. I actually did put in the last update to this project the W7 Stroke of Genius Brow Pencil. So it was one of those skinny brow pencils, and well, mine had actually broken, and then I was able to use it for a few, maybe for a month or so, and then one day it just like dropped out of here. By now it has for sure gone to the Dyson, but yeah, I do have another brow pencil that I am trying to use right now. My preference would be to use on my brows eyeshadow, but I got a brow pencil from my sister, but I decided this time not to talk about it. I'm going to, like, I wanted to focus on talking about those complexion product roll-ins that I already showed you, and then I decided to roll in some perfume samples, so those I'm also going to be focusing on. So maybe in the next update we will see if I will officially roll in the new brow pencil that I have. Then I had in this project a multi-pack of Ardell Demi Wispies, where I had 3 completely unused pairs and 1 pair that I had used. And I actually decided to declutter these. I did use up the pair that I had started using, but I just realized that I really do not like the style of Demi Wispies anymore. They're really much longer on the outer end and they give you that cat eye effect, but they're so long on the outer end, even though they are more natural style. They're totally not the most dramatic style, but I feel they just don't look that flattering on me. They make my eyes look even more hooded and they drag my face down, while I feel if I'm going to wear lashes, it's better for me to wear something where it's more even where the length is. Or when I tried lash extensions about a year and a half ago, I think it was, the lady that did my lashes said that for my eye shape it looks better to have the most length on the middle because that's going to open my eyes, and I totally agree with that. So I just felt that the demi wispies, they really drag my eyes down and they're not flattering. So the 3 completely unused pairs I decided to declutter. Now I have only 1 pair of false lashes that I'm not going to roll into this project because I really only use them intentionally for a special occasion. Okay, so I am doing a panted palette where I am panning 2 eyeshadow palettes, but in this project I have been panning some liquid eyeshadows, so let's talk about them. There's 2 that are rolling out right now and there's 2 that are rolling in. So I have had in this project since the intro the Jason Wu Celestial Lust eyeshadow. This one is in the shade Jane Doe and this one is a rose gold shade. Let me show you a close-up of what it looks like because you really can see that I have made good progress on it. Where does it say Celestial Lust there? So I can show you a comparison how much I used since the last update. Now with this one I have not tracked my uses since the last update. Between the first and the second update I used it 10 times, but now I have not tracked. But I did weigh it and I did use up almost 1 gram worth of product. So really happy with that progress. Right now it's rolling out because we're really getting out of the season when I would like to wear rose gold. For me, it is a really wintry shade. Hopefully next winter I can make some great progress on it again. Maybe even finish it because, you know, it's the type of product that I don't necessarily want to keep for years. So the another loose eyeshadow that I have in, I actually rolled in the last update. This one is the Pupa Vamp eyeshadow and it is in the shade 15. This one I actually tracked because my goal was to use it 5 times since the last update and I did use it 8 times. Today I am wearing it on my lid as my lid shade, but I will say this one is pretty intense if you want it to be, and I didn't want it to be intense for this look, but if I wanted to I would get a really intense like white gold. The weight of this one went down only like was in 0.09 grams. This one will be rolling out right now. This one for me is a really wintry shade and yeah, it's just time to focus on something else right now. Okay, so I do have 2 of these The Balm liquid eyeshadows and I'm going to roll in both of them and I just want to get use out of them. Maybe I will track my uses, maybe I will set a goal that I want to use both of them, let's say 10 times in this project. I think I will keep these eyeshadows in for a couple of months, like until the end of June update, because these I think will work really well with my panted palettes that I will pan until that point. So I do think 10 uses on both should be doable, at least 5 uses, but yeah, I do have the shades Rosé and then I do have the shades Bellini and they are both like different takes on peachy eyeshadows. Okay, so hopefully you can see. So the eyeshadow on the middle is Rosé. That is a little bit lighter, maybe a little bit more kind of like traditional peach. Then there is Bellini, which is like a pinky coral, with some like gold sparkles to it. Okay, so that's all of the makeup that I do want to talk about. I don't pan any lip products in this project because for that I do have a whole different project where I track my lip product usage for the entire season at once, which is actually one of my favorite things to do, probably my favorite project. So let's move on to my new favorite category apart from the lips, which is like always a favorite, but perfume. So I had in this project 2 perfumes, 1 sample and 1 full size, although not a really large bottle, but still. And both of these are now empties. So the sample was the Swiss Arabian Shakaf Oud Tonka, which I don't know if you can spot it. I ended up buying it before my no buy. It was maybe like a little bit of a panic buy because I knew I'm going to go in no buy, so yeah, you know. Anyways, this one is a beautiful fragrance with almond, with tonka bean, vanilla, stuff like that. Really do like it. That's why I wanted to use up the sample, because I wanted to figure out if I want to purchase the perfume, and I ended up doing so. And then I was able to finish the Body Shop Vanilla Eau de Toilette. So it is now gone. This one is something that I used as a reapplication perfume because it's so non-offensive that it's really easy to, for example, reapply at work, and it's not like this huge scent bubble around me. It's now gone. I do think this smell is beautiful. I actually don't even smell it that well here. This one is like a pure soft vanilla. I think vanilla is like the only note listed if you go to Fragrantica. And yeah, it's really nice, but unfortunately doesn't last too long. But with this one also, maybe the age had to do with it. Somewhere in the early 2020s I did buy this, maybe 2021 or something. Now it is gone, and I'm actually really happy about that, so I can then focus on my new perfumes, because my perfume collection has grown quite a bit. But I do have still quite a bit of perfume samples, and I decided in this update to roll in some of those. I do have 4 5ml samples, not all of them are full anymore though, and all of these are rolling in right now. I think at least one of them I do want to finish by the next update, and the rest by the update midway through the year. Let's start with the one that I want to finish by the next update. This is not necessarily my absolute favorite. I am wearing this today, and I do like it enough to wear it and to finish it because it's only a 5ml sample. But this is the Lattafa Noble Blush. So this one is like a rose gourmand. It's this really milky rose perfume. Like, I think it has rose milk listed there. Then there's meringue, almonds, stuff like that, vanilla in the base. I think for it being a rose, I do like it. I'm not a rose perfume lover at all. I do have this one, and then I do have the Kayali Sweet Diamond. Those are the only rose perfumes I have, and I have just figured out that rose is not really a note that I care for that much. I just don't feel like myself when I wear it, I guess. But this one smells lovely because it has such a strong gourmand element to it. I actually think this one smells like a rose budding. This bottle is not full anymore, so yeah, as I said, it's a 5ml sample, and that's how much I have left. But I'm going to roll in other perfumes, and these are also 5ml samples, and they are pretty much full. But I do still want to start working on them to get my samples down a little bit. So I do have from Lattafa the Victoria. I will say I wanted to try both the Victoria and the Catrice Empire Victor, which I already used up like within a week or so because I loved it so much. It's such a beautiful like citrus gourmand, really warm. I really do enjoy it, and that went on my wish list. But yeah, I also wanted to try Victoria. Victoria has neroli listed, which makes it totally a little bit more floral, but yeah, I have not yet used it anywhere, like out to the house. I have sprayed it on my skin, didn't like it as much as Empire Victor, but I do want to use this up and give it a shot, and we'll see which one I like better. Then I will roll in the sample from Ansam Gold from Lattafa, which I actually used up one of these, a smaller sample of this one last summer, but then I kinda started missing it. Like, back then I thought that maybe it's not my favorite, but then I started missing it and everybody raves about it, so I decided to sample it again. And I will say it does smell really, really lovely. I think this one is a dupe for some really expensive perfume from Kilian or Perfumes de Marly. And then I do have one sample from Paris Corner. This is the Marshmallow Blush, and this one is a dupe for the Kayali Yambushi Marshmallow, I think it's called. Let's quickly talk about nail polish. I do have in this project two that I rolled in the last update. So the Barium Molten Metal Nail Paint, I'm wearing this today. I don't think you can see now from the bottle where it goes, but I do have about half left. Maybe you can see. I do have about half left. It has been the nail polish that I have been focusing on, but sometimes I have gone without wearing any nail polish for a week or so because I have been really busy. I also rolled in the last update the Color Club nail polish in the shade Piece of Cake, which is like a really light peachy color. It's a really sheer nail polish. So I rolled this in for those days and times that I don't want to wear a cool toned nail polish, because the Berry M nail polish is clearly more cool toned. It's going to take a while for me to be able to finish this. Like at this point I don't think that I could be done with this even by midway through the year. So maybe the update in August might be when I have an empty nail polish and I would be able to roll in a new one. And at this point I don't want to roll in other colors, because then there will be too many to focus on. Because, you know, unlike Perfume, which I wear every day, I can have few options, or a lip product I wear every day, so I can have few options. By my nail polish I do typically once, max twice a week. Okay, then I do have here still few other products. So these are like skincare, hair care, and these are really boring products for me to pan, so I'm just quickly talking about them. I was finally able to finish my Paul Mitchell Extra Body Thicken Up Styler. This one is a really expensive product that doesn't do anything for my hair. I had it forever in my collection, but I'm glad it's gone now. Another empty, the Lucky Cloud Super Balm. By the way, if you hear a child crying, my son woke up from his nap. My husband is with him, so don't worry, he's just getting his snack soon. So yeah, I was able to finish this balm. I got it from the Big Box subscription box or advent calendar in 2020, so it was about a time to get it done. Then two products that are not yet empties. These are actually both something that I got from my sister. The Innocent Body Cake, which is like a body oil in bar soap form. And I have been able to make some good progress with this product. This is now everything that I have left. 3 little chunks like this. You know what, I will try to get it done by the next update. And then the last product, the Urtegram 3 Minutes Mask. And this one is like a hydrating mask, but I really do not like this one on my face. This one has that really typical natural cosmetics scent. I have figured out that this one actually works really well as a foot cream. I just tended to put some socks on for sleeping, or otherwise if I'm hanging at home. So then I will first apply this, then put socks on, and then just relax or sleep, and it will leave my feet a little bit softer and nicer. My goal is to get this one done during the summertime, but right now I will try to start using it more often. Okay, but that's everything for this update. As you saw, I was able to finish quite a few products and I rolled in some new ones. Hopefully there will be more empties and roll-ins in the next update. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye bye.